right, we are going to be doing a lesson with earth materials. And part of earth materials is the study of rocks. Kids love rocks. They love to go gem mining. They love to look at rocks. They love to throw rocks. They just love rocks. So, whereas an adult might find this kind of dull, the kids actually love this unit. So what we will do is start with this story. Again, I want to share with you the More Picture Perfect Science book. This is on page 157, and it's called If You Find a Rock. There are 2 books, and you will be getting both of them. The first one is If You Find a Rock, and this is a great read aloud to start your lesson. The other one is called Rocks, Hard, Soft, Smooth, and Rough. So this is going to be talking about the properties of rocks and the 3 types of rocks. Both great stories. So what you're going to do to start before you read the story is you're going to have something hidden in your hand. And you're going to say, I have something in my hand that is older than myself, older than your mom and dad, older than your grandparents, older than this school. Does anybody know what is hidden in my hand? And they're going to be like, I don't know, what is it? It might even be older than 100 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And then maybe somebody would guess it. What do you think it is, Brandy?
Glass?
It's not glass.
A rock?
Let's see. And then you open it up in your hand and you say, look what it is. It is a rock. Did you know rocks are so old?
How do you know they're so old?
Because they are part of our Earth.
That is so
And
cool.
Earth has been here for how many years? I can't even tell you how many years Earth has been around. But yes, so that's a great introduction to this story. And then you're going to be reading this story called If You Find a Rock. And as you read, you're going to be asking questions like, what is a rock hound? Is anybody in this class a rock hound?
Rock hound?
Yeah, do you know what a rock hound is?
Never heard of that.
It is somebody that loves collecting rocks.
That's cool.
Yep. So, and then you can ask questions like, what is the name of the type of scientist that studies rocks? And that's a good question for them to think about. Another good fact about this story, the author is Peggy Christian, and she had a father who was a geologist. So maybe that's why she decided to write this book, because of her dad. There's another page in this story that talks about a wishing rock. So when you get to that page, I want you to stop reading and tell everybody in the class to make a wish, because that's what they do in the story. They make a wish with a wishing rock.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's really sweet. So this is a great book to introduce. What you're going to do after you introduce the story is that you will either have already in class a rock collection, or prior to doing this lesson, you will have had a note sent home saying your child needs to bring in a rock from home. So everybody will have a rock. If they don't have a rock, it's always good to have extra rocks to share. All right, so what we're going to do for this lesson is, and you're going to be really excited about this. Can I show them?
Yes.
Everybody is going to be getting this big box. I'm going to open it up. Ooh. And everybody see.
Look how cool.
It is a huge collection of different types of rocks.
That's awesome.
And what's really neat about this collection is they're all numbered, and you can find on this guide what type of rock it is. It also splits it up into sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic.
Wow.
Yes. So the objective for what we're going to do is to identify earth materials. Everybody should have a rock, and everybody should have a hand lens. So what we're going to do, Brandy, you can choose a rock.
Okay.
In my bag. And you're going to give students enough time to look at the rock, feel it. Yeah. How does your rock feel?
Feels rough.
So does mine.
Sharp.
Uh-huh. Definitely. And then what they can do with the hand lens is they can look at the different specks inside of the rock. So you may have to teach the kids how to use a hand lens, right? You put it close to the object and you lift it up to see close. What do you see?
Bumps.
Yeah?
Holes.
Really? Does yours have color?
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty gold.
Yeah. I love this rock because it's blue. Blue's my favorite color. So kids are going to have a chance to talk about their rocks, observe their rocks, feel their rocks. And that's when you're going to go into the discussion of all of those words are properties of your rocks. And properties is one of those academic vocabulary words. What's a property? Well, remember a property is its size. So what is your size? Small, medium, large?
Small.
Yeah? I would say mine is pretty small. Some are even smaller. I don't have those, but there are small rocks in there. So size is one of the properties. Color is a property, and we just talked about our color. Texture is a property, so we're going to say that both of ours are rough, right? And then one of those big vocabulary words that they probably will not know is luster. Do you know what luster is?
Something with the shine.
Yes, luster is how it is bright. So the actual definition is how it reflects light.
Okay.
So that's how it shows the light. So remember, luster is how your rock reflects light, right? So after you've talked about all of the properties, they will have, and this is in the book, this page of I Found a Rock, and that's where they're going to record the properties, right on this chart. So it says it's color, texture, luster, and size, and then they can draw and label the rock down at the bottom. And then it says, I found a rock that would be good for blank because it is blank. So you could say, I found a rock that is good for, let's say, skipping, like you skip it on the water because it is maybe flat. So that might be a little more challenging for some of them. But it gets them thinking about what their rock would be good for. After they have filled out their rock page, this is an extension to this activity. You can collect all of their pages and then randomly just choose one of their sheets, and that's going to be the one that you're going to use as your guide. So you're going to have everybody in the class stand up, and then you're going to say, all right, if your rock, and you're talking about the rock that they have, is gray, sit down. Okay? So then everybody would sit down. If your rock is bumpy, sit down. So what you're trying to do is narrow out all of those properties to describe the one paper that you have in your hand. So the last person that's standing is the one that is going to describe the page with. So it's kind of a game that
Like some movement in there.
That's right. So that's just a little extension. Another extension that you can do with this lesson is, I'm sure you've heard of having a pet rock. Yeah? So I have a paper that I will share with you, my pet rock fact page, where they bring in a rock from home. They come up with its name, when it's born, its favorite foods, its favorite activities, and that's fun for them to do. Something else that we do in my school to start our lesson is that they get this construction hat, and it's already printed on yellow construction paper. They cut it out, we put it on a sentence strip for a hat, and then they're going to be digging for rocks, and what they will be getting is a chocolate chip cookie and a toothpick, 2 toothpicks, and then they have to dig into their cookie to pull out the rocks, which are the chocolate chips.
Cute.
So that's something that we do to start this unit, which is really fun for them. Also, there's a Brain Pop Junior on natural resources and rocks, so that's good. There's lots of songs and YouTube clips that you can also search for that help the kids understand the difference between the 3 types of rocks, which are sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. And what's also great about this book is it gives you the background, and it gives you all the definitions so that you know exactly what to say.
I love that resource.
Yes.